How y'all doing out there? Everyone's favorite Tobey Maguire lookalike, Ben from TM Combustors here, crashing a wave of American copyright law all over ya. You may have noticed that a lot of videos on my channel suddenly went missing. That's because I had to delete them because they were full of misinformation on copyright law. I also took down libtmcn and detect because it was the product of a fundamental misunderstanding of copyright law. No wonder Cyrus M. and Hatchling by Heart called me Dunning-Kruger because of it. I have since refined my understanding of copyright law and have formulated a new plan to change it that'll take years to complete, and some Nintendo Ninja victims I tried reaching out to may even be dead by the time it's finished, especially considering one of them is older than my dad and confined to a wheelchair. This will be the first of several videos trying to get more people to be aware of the totalitarian nature of copyright law. I want to make something very clear. I am not a copyright abolitionist. I am a DMCA abolitionist. A copyright abolitionist is a specific type of DMCA abolitionist. I am not that type. Copyright abolitionists want DMCA to be gone and replaced with nothing. Most DMCA abolitionists, myself included, are not like this. Instead, what we want is for DMCA to be replaced with a copyright system that prioritizes right to repair, media preservation, and protection of transformative works. Now I will go more in depth about each of those topics. Time for a trivia question. What do MacBooks, John Deere tractors, and McDonald's ice cream machines all have in common? They all reject genuine replacement parts using a technical prevention measure, or TPM for short. By DMCA Section 1201, circumvention of TPMs is always prohibited except when noted otherwise by a DMCA exemption. There are only a few exemptions I know of for that, such as one for looking for copyright infringement and one for jailbreaking and rooting smartphones, the former being why libtmcn and detect was an epic fail. There is no exemption for repairing products you paid for. This means that repairing a MacBook can get you up to 5 years of prison time and up to $250,000 in fines. That is the penalty for copyright infringement here in the US. What I propose in the new copyright system is a ban on serialized parts in electronics and a repeal of Section 1201. TPM circumvention should only be illegal once people use it for pirating currently supported media, in my opinion. Time for another trivia question. What lasts longer, a copyright or a piece of physical media? Due to entropy in a corrupt legal system, the answer is a copyright. Okay, except for some Blu-ray discs, which have a calculated shelf life of 1,000 years, but obviously none have been around long enough to know if that's accurate. Lots of CDs and DVDs are now experiencing a phenomenon known as disc rot, irreversible damage to the data on the disc caused solely by aging. Piracy is always illegal even when companies are no longer profiting off the media, as a copyright lasts the life of the holder plus 70 years or 95 years depending on what it is. This means that despite Pokemon Red and Blue coming out before I was born, they most likely will enter public domain after I'm dead. That is, if copyright law doesn't change. What I propose is a system in which copyrights are put on hold when a media is discontinued, and the hold can only be ended by a re-release. I also propose a maximum of 30 years for the amount of time a copyright lasts. If that were the case, Pokemon Red and Blue would have their copyright on hold with 2 years left of the copyright since they released in the US in 1998. And now a final trivia question. 2 of the following unofficial uses of Nintendo's intellectual property are parodies, while the other one is a ripoff. Which one is a ripoff? Haven by Insomniac Overlord, that one Russian Pokédex, or Super Mario Logan by Logan 30acre? The answer is the Russian Pokédex, yet despite that, the Nintendo Ninjas targeted all 3 of them. Just because I have an OC that is a Flareon named Hono who has a visible male part doesn't mean that I'm taking credit for Motofumi Fujiwara's brilliant work designing Flareon. The policies on trademark tarnishment should be loosened so that it's only illegal when it's either defamatory or pedophilic. It should also be illegal for IP enforcers to treat parodies like ripoffs with a penalty worse than the penalty for copyright infringement. I want to be able to release my fan game where you play as Hono without the Nintendo Ninjas taking it down. My proposed solution to all this is to turn TM Combustors into the first taxpayer-funded pro-consumer tech company by running first for Illinois governor and then for U.S. president. As president, I will withdraw from WIPO and together with members of Congress in the same political party as me, abolish DMCA. For this to be possible, though, I would have to form a new political party. Linked in the description is a Google Doc with comments open about the Digital Libertarian Party. I don't turn 25 until October 24th, 2027, and I don't turn 35 until a decade after that. But please, I encourage you to share this video and the Google Doc with fellow Americans and especially fellow Illinoisans so that the Digital Libertarian Party can become a real thing. Until next time, TM Combustors. Electrify your life, combust the TMs.